Norwich on the Wherry Lines route by Armstrong Powerhouse. What we're doing is we're getting ready here and we're going to be heading off in that general direction towards Great Yarmouth. Now today we're doing a route learning run, so that means we're driving without the hood. We're going to quickly jump into the cab of this Class 156 Super Sprinter. I'll talk a bit more about the train when we get going. But we are in a bit of a hurry to get going, so I'm just going to quickly prep the train and then we'll get going from there. And then I want the markers. So you can see I've actually set that the wrong way. Here we go. We're going to set the destination to Great Yarmouth. There we go. Great. Hiss. And we are going to set our train code, which is train 2 Papa 22. That's something that's important to bear in mind. You look for the flash there, and then you go 22, and we're getting signal 508. I'm going to let that register and check how long we've got waiting to go. We're due off blocks 1336, so about a minute. Quick cab tour, this Class 156 Super Sprinter. So this, first of all, I want to quickly caveat that this entire route learning video, the notes are actually quite old. They're written on the UV Class 156, so this might have slightly different performance. We'll see how some of the performance characteristics are. We'll quick left to right, got a Westcote 3-step brake. Which is steps 1, 2, 3 and emergency. As you can see, I can move the handle to reverse, but as soon as we've also got the doors open, it maintains a full service brake application. Got the DRA, which we can actually turn off because you can see it a green aspect on the next signal. Engine start stop, gearbox fault lights, these illuminate when we get wheel slip. Got the TPWS system, the brakes, got the horn controlled by the spacebar and the B key. So I'm just going to quickly move away first because it's time. So I'm going to move away in step 3 of power. Would help with the reverser forward. Take step 3. Our starting limit is actually 25 miles now. Our next stop is Brundall Gardens, which is about 5 miles away. And away we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this window open. Just gives us some slightly better noise. So yes, this is a slightly modified version of the cab of the Class 156. Most locos have a slightly different setup in this area, and it just the cab's a little bit more tatty in general. Now, as I mentioned, our speed limit is 25, so we can accelerate up to that pace. So I'll let the speed get up to 25 miles an hour, and then I'll hit idling. It's about a 35-minute run overall to Great Yarmouth. We're going to be calling at Brundall Gardens, Brundall, Lingwood, Acle, and finally Great Yarmouth. Anyway, continuing our cab tour, we'll actually get up to 25. What we'll do is we'll wait until we're accelerating towards 60, and then we'll go from there. So we'll just move around the curve here. Ahead of us there, that is Norwich Crown Point Depot, with Wensum sidings, the overgrown sidings between us and the depot. Getting a little bit ahead of ourselves there, so I'm going to put a notch of brake on. As you can see, passing that speed limit, our speed limit actually does increase up to 60 miles an hour, so that the power will come on now. Here's what our horn sounds like. That is controlled by the spacebar and the B key. Moving further around on our cab tour, we have the windscreen wiper controls, the AWS reset switch, master key, uncouple couple switches, signal, of the buzzer, sorry, the driver guard buzzer, and the sander controls. We also have the reverse handle, which is 4-step, off, reverse, forward, sorry, off, reverse, neutral, forward, and finally the throttle control. And we've got the light controls over here, which I'm actually going to turn the instrument lights on just because when we pass through wooded areas, etc., it can sometimes get a little bit difficult to read the speedometer. So what you hear there is the engine revs back and we lose a little bit of acceleration there. Between about 45 and 50 miles an hour, the gearbox on the train actually changes mode, and that's why you'd hear that sound there. Anyway, working our way around, so we've got the light controls, we've got the fault light dimmer, instrument lights, windscreen demist, headlights, tail lamps, destination light, marker light, which is obviously on, compressor speed up, which is used to charge the brakes, and hold gear, which we don't use in normal service. Finally, we also have the GSMR system. As you can imagine, the top speed of this unit is 75 miles an hour. We also do have the train effect system, but unfortunately that isn't particularly well estimated. I will close the door now that we're travelling at some speed. Finally, I'm going to set the power to notch 4. This should hold between about 58 and 59 miles an hour, and is enough to keep us going for the time being. That is the East Suffolk line. Sorry, I can't English today. And it leads up to the Norfolk Railway. I am hoping I'm going to take the power off of it because it's getting a bit quick. I'm going to use step 1 of power to control it. I'll use step 3 of power. We'll see how that does. Yeah, that's step 3. But the TPWS isolation controls and got the system there. Got the main menu, driver announcements, which I'd imagine you pick that headset up and you do a talk, terminate route, enter route code, so it can run announcements. I do not believe that feature is simulated within Train Simulator. We have the multiple warning for the 20 mile an hour limit, but that is for local old stock only on this route, and it's not something that we need to concern ourselves with too heavily. Now, what we're looking for now is the next underbridge after this bridge. We'll take a step 2 brake application to help get our speed under control for Brundall Garden Station. Please bear in mind with this station, it is a short platform, therefore it can be quite challenging to get the train stopped in the correct spot. For example, when the local haul sets call here, they actually pull in and the doors aren't released, the guard only lets passengers on and off through the BSO coach. Being a fail and forgetting how to function, spilling my drink all over myself whilst I'm trying to commentate a YouTube video. The interior for these trains is actually quite nice. This maquette I find quite garish at times, but it's quite nice. I also love the AP advertising in the background there. Now the Class 156 is actually quite a good train to drive because it's quite forgiving, and you can generally brake it quite well. You can actually see Brundall Station there ahead, so I'm going to give it a little longer before I take the step 2. And I'm going to go into step 2 braking now. And you can see the Class 37 short set by the looks of things coming into the station there. Okay, I'm not happy with how quickly the speed's eroding, so I'm just going to step that up a bit. I'm going to enter at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Or aiming to enter at sort of 10 to 15. We're going to go a bit quick, so we'll keep the extra braking power on. Okay, and we're going to release the doors now that we're here in Brundall Garden Station. So I'll set the reverser to neutral and also set the DRA because we are starting off against a single amber aspect. We stopped a little long, but I actually did brake about a second or two too late, so we did quite well there. As of course the short set departed past, I was a little bit too busy to admire it there. The destination board's turned itself off, which is interesting. But that's not something we'd have seen, so I'm not going to troubleshoot that too heavily. It'll have been through this that I've messed it up. without getting the manual up, I can't reset that. But that's my apologies, but that's my fault there, not the trains. I'm going to go into full power now, get up to about 40 and then stand on the brakes from there. And we'll just take a gentle brake application here. You can see the platform coming into view there now. Again, quite a decent length platform here at Brundall. There you go, we have the green aspect to proceed. So there's a special working guideline here where basically you approach, as you slow down, the signaller goes, yeah, you're going slow enough, and then releases the signal for you. So I'm going a little on the slow side. But with this signal, or with this station, it's against level crossing, so it's always better to approach slightly too slow than slightly too quick. So for us, we're in a Greater Anglia set. Great Yarmouth we want, which is route 01002. Tick. Great Yarmouth. Tick. You can see it appears there now. Perfect. That is me happy and content. And again, moving away from Great Yarmouth Station, the speed limit is actually 60 miles an hour. However, we'll be diverging to the left to go off to Great Yarmouth. The line going straight ahead actually goes to Reedham and then diverges itself. One line goes to Great Yarmouth and rejoins us just before we meet Great Yarmouth, and the other goes to Lowestoft, where we'll be going in a future video. We'll also be coming back from Great Yarmouth via the other route in a future video. So I'm just going to knock that power out. So yeah, we just passed the point to accelerate up to 60. Now next stop is Lingwood Station, which is just after Brundall. So I'm going to get up to 60 and then let the train keep itself under control again. Now we are going quite a steep slope here, so that's why the acceleration is a little bit slower than usual. but we got this. It's interesting, I can't seem to enable DSD in this train, but it does have a DSD pedal. Most interesting. So again, there's the two-stage hydraulic gearbox changing over. So we've got the wrong way facing AWS, so that's fine, we can ignore that. We've got the distance signal there for Lingwood, which is fine. Now the second overbridge after the AWS, we'll start thinking about slowing down for our next station. That, of course, being Lingwood. I absolutely love this route. It's just so visually satisfying, and in a lovely train such as the AP156. Not more we can ask for, right? So I'm going to idle off the power now, and step 1, step 2. Step 3, again with Lingwood, we're looking to stop at the end. Okay, my apologies, I mistook the crossing there for the station. So let the brake off for a bit. Yeah, still only a quarter mile away, so I wasn't doing too badly. I will just... There we go, give it a bit of the go-go juices. I believe that's an axle counter there on the bottom right. That just passes that big yellow can. So again, quite a small platform here at Lingwood, but we're looking to stop at the S-car markers, which you can just see them coming into view there on the end of the platform. I'm hoping to keep my route learning format in a style where what we do is we learn sort of all the primary routes on one run. So, for example, East Coast Main Line. If we were to do Newark Northgate to King's Cross, then we would learn that in one direction, not do it in both directions. So, for example, this run we'll do back via Reedham, and then we'll go back out to Lowestoft. Great Yarmouth, of course. I believe it is. I believe it is Great Yarmouth. I'm just trying to check now. I'm paranoid. Yeah, we are one of the most easterly trains in the country right now. It is Lowestoft is actually the most easterly town within the UK. There you go, so going back up to 60 miles now, Acle next, which is about 2.5 miles away. So keep our eyes on the prize. Again, Acle's actually got one of the longer platforms, but a lot of the initial part of the platform is disused, so we're aiming to stop right at the end. I'm just going to keep our eyes out the window, just to see what's going on. Now, just in order to keep my game as pretty as possible, so yeah, keep my game as pretty as possible. I'm using RW Enhancer. I don't have the Pro version. I'm going to have with RW Enhancer Pro. I'm going to wait for Train Sim 2020. Which seems to be on the way, and then I believe they sort of popped it out with like less than a month's notice. So that'll be quite interesting. It's a bit of a game engine overhaul again. So we'll see what they bring to the game this time. See what it did there. And potentially if RW Enhancer still works when that comes out, I'll get RW Enhancer Pro. But it would just depend on that coming out. I absolutely love driving the 156. I just find it so satisfying to drive. Such a wonderful little train. Yeah, so I'm just going to... Step 3. Yeah, so I'm going to idle power now. I'm hoping to potentially do a steam train video as a route learner in the not too distant future, which would be the... I'll probably do only do Fort William to Glenfinnan, but I would do that in the Black 5, which of course quite famously is now rail tour. That runs sort of every day, which is quite impressive, I find. Okay, we're getting, again, speed's getting a bit away from us now. Get that back under control. I'm going to go step 2 because I can see the station coming into view. And I just want to get our speed down nicely. There's actually a 50 limit, sorry, going through Acle. But we're going to get the speed down nicely under control to about a 30 or a 40. Just in order to, yeah, 35 would be a nice approach pace. Just in order to give us a nice lead in there. You can see we've got the 50 limit. Must be that the line ahead of us is clear. Or the train waiting for us is already in the loop. I think I can see a train in the loop then. No, I'm actually not sure now. I think that's just the stairs playing tricks on me. Yeah, the loop's clear. So this is where trains would pass each other on this section of the track, as the rest of it is entirely single track. Blast to the horn on approach. There we go. Welcome to Acle. So after this, our next stop is going to be Great Yarmouth. I absolutely adore driving this route in Train Simulator. It's quite honestly one of my favourite routes. I've got some scenarios coming out to Vulcan Productions for this. This scenario itself, as you can see, is a Vulcan Productions scenario. So not Vulcan Productions, like an Armstrong Powerhouse scenario. We're also running somewhat late. About a minute down, but that just I think owes more to our gentle braking than anything else. Let's go. So I pull away in about not 3 to 4 power, depending on sort of what the unit feels like itself. Because just like with a car, you get some units that pull really well, some that just don't. So a bit more of a kick in the binaries. So we're moving away in notch 4. So notch 3 to 4, and then passing about 15 to 20. I'm going to kick the power the rest up to full power. So actually a community event Pokemon Go yesterday, and I've got so many Turtwigs. I literally in one day went from having 1 Turtwig ever to a Grottle, and I've got 76 Turtwig candy, waiting to go to evolve Grottle to a what does Grottle evolve to again? I can't remember Pokemon names, but basically to evolve Grottle because I need an objective. And now to 60-mile-an-hour run nearly the rest of the way to Great Yarmouth, so you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm hoping to do one of the route learners for this in the Class 68. So I'm probably going to run the Class 37 back via Reedham, and then do the other in the Class 68, just because it's such a very different driving experience. Driving the AP 37 and then the Dovetail 68. And this, they're just very, very different beasts, shall we say. And going over swing bridges is fun. Again, I had the sign that cancel AWS, so we can ignore that. And we'll kick the power back to idle. Absolutely stunning section of the route here. So I always try to give a blast on crossings, even if we can't immediately see someone there. It's just a way to make sure that we don't kill anyone. As you can see, this section of the route rather featureless. I actually find it really quite pretty though. The way they've done it with a lot of really quite dense vegetation in the foreground, I really like it actually. And you know, it's quite featureless. So especially there's one of the scenarios that actually comes with the route. I think does this on a foggy day, and it's very interesting to try and, like, you know, from a driver's perspective. Imagine this on a foggy day where you can't see the road, you can't see anything around us. You can just see these coming out the fog at you every now and again. Must be quite an interesting experience trying to drive that. Now, because I've driven this route so many times, I'm actually going to fold my notes now. Which is just edgy, but still. Yeah. I've had a rather dramatic day at work. I'm not going to talk about it otherwise. That's what ends up causing you problems. It does, so... yeah. It was a nice day in the end, though. It's sort of a nice feeling when you think when you feel as though you've actually really helped someone. I think playing with the horn in a train as well, it's one of those innately childish things. That's just such good fun. And I believe it looks like we can see the sea there, so I think we are approaching the coast now. No, I think that might just be the haze today. Just going to use notch 2 to try and sustain this at this pace. I'm going to say I thoroughly enjoyed this train. AP absolutely knocked out the court. You can read everything again, and it's just, yeah, amazing. It's interesting though, compared to the UV units. As I said, I was watching actually PTG drive this, and that's who I picked up the notch 4 to hold 60 miles an hour from. Obviously, even in notch 2, where, you know, we've got a bit too much power going on there, so I do find that quite interesting. You can see, I'll just show you guys on a map the rough layout of this route. So we've gone the top way. There's also the bottom way, which is one of the way we'll be going back, hopefully. I'm potentially doing it at Class 68, which again, even compared to this, is just so modern and nice and new. I mean, even with this, which is the redesigned cab to make it nicer, like, this panel is completely different on most 156s. Everything else is roughly the same. Obviously that's a bit different as well, but I think a lot of them have got the Train FX system now, but not many have had the full cab mods. Also, Northern units up here have, or Northern and ScotRail units up here have a thingy, an RETB set, which unfortunately couldn't be fitted to this train. Which, frankly, I can see both sides to that argument. So, I believe we can see the amber aspect burning there on the signal. So yes, we are getting quite close. So I'm actually going to knock the power out and let the train coast down. going to just tap notch 1 of power. And then we'll get the pace down. Sorry, tap notch 1 of brake, sorry. Realised my mistake in the words there. You can see the speed board there on the left. Got the high speed wheel flange. Ooh, that was satisfying. And there's the line joining us from Reedham. Next marker we're looking out for is, I believe they're the cellular towers on the left hand side of the track. And at that we'll take step 2 and brake down to 15 miles an hour, which is the entry speed limit into the platform. Got the whistle board there, so everyone seems to get lag here. I was watching PTG doing this run, he had lag here as well. And this is Great Yarmouth carriage sidings on the left hand side. Again, I love those, I just love the way it's made, it looks so nice. I believe, yeah, I did brake a little too soon. Going at platform 2. But again, I think it's one of those things, as much as it's ideally you brake on time, but if you've got a choice between braking too soon and braking too late, you should always go for braking too soon. There's our 15 board. I see it there on the left. I do find it quite difficult to spot some of these speed boards. I'm hopefully going to be bringing some Flight Simulator content to the channel. It's one of the games I've played much longer than Train Sim, etc. Sort of duration-wise. Well, sort of calendar duration-wise, I think I've probably played Train Sim about as much as I've played Flight Sim now, because I've been playing it that much, especially doing scenario work. And I'm hoping to bring some of that to the channel in the not too distant future, which would be kind of great. I always enjoy playing it. It's just my joystick broke, and I've not had the finance to be able to afford a replacement yet. I've got a yoke, but I need to find my throttle quadrant. Actually, it's at my dad's. Potentially I could go and see him tomorrow and get that sorted. Actually, now I've got to go and see my manager at some point tomorrow. Well, it's weird, my manager and my employer are two different people. I'm a manager and my other managers probably what I should tone them to be. So I don't want to go into too much depth about how my company works. Okay, gauging actually works here. It just didn't look right. Again, I'm just going to step 1 at brake. We're going to brake nice and close to the end. We'll get it down to about 5 and then coast for a bit and then there we go. So I'm going to open the doors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just shut down this cab, marker lamps, tail lamps, headlamps. There we go. Get that stopped. Get that stopped and better there, right? I defy you. I'd agree. It's a little on the light side. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, smack that like button. Subscribe to see more from me on a fairly regular basis now. I'm starting to get quite good at my daily content again. And we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye for now.